my journey in Excel has been very transformative from two perspectives. That Excel makes you inclusive, Excel makes you welcomed, Excel makes you respected. The HR as a function, right? One basic fundamental thing is the way or the nomenclature or the title being used to reflect the function has changed. Initially it was called industrial relations, then became personal management, then it became human resources. Now people call it people capability, people maturity, various names. So names itself have undergone a change with the times in terms of what people felt is relevant. While that being said, I think what I've seen personally is that technology has played a huge role in terms of this transformation, in terms of what the people-related function has seen. And in addition to that, the role people function started playing in the organizations has changed immensely. Earlier, it used to be one of an administrative function. I think over a period of time, it became an important support function. From there, it became a strategic function. Now, I think it plays an extremely important role in terms of complete organization building, and people recognize that the people function is extremely important for critical differentiator in the business success. Right? If two organizations with a similar kind of a market space, what differentiates them is actually the people and how the people work and how you build teams, how the teams perform. So people recognize the value of people function a lot more than what it was today, what it is today. So both in terms of attracting, retaining, engaging, and actually getting the best of the people. So the function has grown big. Strategically, function has become extremely important for business success. And I think the people who have got into the function also are extremely smart now. Not that they were not before, but I think today a lot of people, a lot of young kids have taken to this function, which was not so earlier. And that you can see it in terms of how they're contributing to the overall journey of the function itself. I think it's a good thing which has happened to the world in terms of the AI, machine learning, and all this stuff. I always believe personally as that any technology disruption is good, right? Because we get to do more with the same. So same people can do more work, right? Work can be done faster, better, cheaper, whatever it is, right? So AI is good. So it's not a demon. So first, and I think it's a good horse to ride. So we just need to know how to ride the horse. So that's the thing. What impact it'll have? Of course, it'll have an impact, right? At the end of the day, it'll build more efficiencies. What does it build efficiency mean? Obviously, you'll require less people to do the same amount of work, or maybe less time you'll take to do the work. So people will have more bandwidth to be able to go and do things more. How do I see the impact happening? Lot of roles in a pyramid, typically pyramid, which are in the layer 1, layer 2, other than what needs to be done physically with hands. Anything which people are doing through computer and applying mind and stuff, I think at least 30 to 40% of it will get, I will say AI'd, or I would say automated, but AI will be able to do it with a fairly better accuracy and better consistency, and organizations will adopt those, right? Which is a good thing. I think it's a good thing, and the organization will use that additional bandwidth which is available to do better things. So for HR person, the challenge is first is actually how do you make sure that your organization gets aligned to AI, right? Just beyond saying that we are AI driven organization, how can you help the organization derive benefit out of the AI itself? The second is then what do you do with the people, right? How do you retrain, reskill, upgrade, all the stuff. I think that second part of the problem is lesser challenge. The first part of the problem, if you find it, I think the second part of the problem becomes a lot more easier. I think adapting to change, adapting to new things which come across in our life or work, in the industry, in the marketplace, I think is necessary, right? And adapting faster is even better, right? I've seen ages where they didn't have emails. I'm just saying for a kid now, email is given, right? We didn't have phones, mobile phones, right? I mean, we didn't have. So from there, things have changed so much, right? And we've seen so much of our own personal life in terms of how work has changed. For them, I think adapting to anything which is presented to them is extremely important. right? I think, I personally believe my recommendation to them is you adapt faster, right? Don't resist it, right? If you see even 10 things good about something, please learn, please adapt it, right? So, and if you don't adapt it, you become obsolete, right? Lot of people, I'll say in HR, I can talk about one example, right? A lot of people, when people talked about metrics and dashboards and measurements to measure HR, a lot of people resisted and said, what HR can't be measured, it's human, it's emotions, and but there are people who adopted it, right? And they've done very, very well, because at the end of the translating, the number becomes a lot more easier to be able to tangible way to show your impact and a lot of other stuff. Today, metrics in HR is imperative, right? I mean, say, nobody can stand up and say metrics cannot be there. But 15 years ago, there were a lot of people, folks who resisted and said, no, it's not possible. HR is all about XYZ, but it's not true. So my thing to the young generation is, anything which you find new, of course, assimilate it, understand what are the benefits of it, and if you see the benefits are good, adapt it, right? Quickly, right? Be the early adopter, right? And whether the organization is ready or not, you become the change agent, because that will put you in a different stead ahead also.